Hello friends, welcome you all once again in lecture series Machining Science and Machine Tool. I am Amit Tiwari, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical So let's start. The objective of the lecture is to delineate the different practices of machine tool based on the standard. Second, learn part programming procedure using the ISO coding system. Is the computer part system in particle. At the end of this lecture, students will be able to understand about the accuracy of the CNC machine, ensure consistent product quality. The process is more precise than the manual machining and can be repeated in exactly the same manner over and over again and increase the production speed and increases efficiency. So we're discussing about the introduction about that ISO standard for coding. What is ISO standard for coding? That is in the earlier year of development of a numerical control standardization been given due to important as a result may of the things that we use and standardize and many of the manufacturers follow the standards to great extent. One of the first thing to be standardized is the word addresses to be used in programming, and all the 26 letters of the alphabet are standardized and given as meaning as follows. So as you know that there are some standard, we can say coding are here. It has to be international standard organization, which is to deal with some standard value from based on the numerical control. And we know that the numerical control in which the some codings are to be used for to operating the machine or operating the tools or as workpiece also, or to give the command or by applying the some numerical control. Numerical control that means a number, and number in which we can say that some additional or unique type of a number we are using for operating the function of the machines and the tool as well as. So as you know that there is a 26 letter in the English alphabet and a 26 we can say that numerical numbers are having in the CNC machining that we are operating with the help of this and having the fine finishing will be provided by above mentioned this type of coding. You just keep in mind that during the machining operation you have to idea about what the coding is to be used for a particular operation because without that coding or without that code we are not able to operate the machine as machine because it has to be fully automatic by the numerical control. So that's why we can say that it has to be idea. So first of all you have to idea, you have to remind the code of it each which operation or which tool you operate on, what procedure or what machine, what operation you have to perform for that. So you have to first of all keep in mind about the coding system for that and how to write a program with that particular operation. So it will help to you to understand the ISO coding by the different terms that you have to join the N code and we can say G code, M code. They are the different type of coding. Generally, we are using the G code and M code. Okay, for G that means the precipitating coding, M with miscellaneous coding. Okay, so we all this type of G code and M code are discussed in this today lecture. So we have to understand about the procedure of writing the program and how we can read the program. First of all, how we can write the program and after how we can read the program. Because reading program is not easy. You have to understand the code language. You have to understand all the code terms of what they say indicate for use that particular type of tool, a particular numerical term or the alphabet term is denoted for something. Okay, for a particular operation. So you have to first of all keep in mind that what type of tool you are using for it and having the diameter and having the time. You have to time taken for this particular operation. So we required some ISO coding and we can say there's some alphabet or some English thing or some standardization word to be used for that and having the development of the new numerical control or we can say there's some simulation that is also used for the making the production very high. No, it is a safety. No one can hack this type of product. It is operating totally on the fully so CAD/CAM software. So you have to learn something that is a CAD/CAM software alphabet, which are the numerical terms coding by and a part and how to write the program and how to can read the program. These all the terms are respectively indicate that using you are working with the CNC machines or any automation machine. So you must be keep in mind to how to operate this type of the thing. It is a safety, and we can say that it is a type numerical and it is a unique feature. So why it is very popular? Because it has some different advantage, different uniqueness of how to operate this type of machine. Everyone do not have understand if they whose person operate this type of machine, which have understanding this type of problems. Okay, so these are the very we can say that the unique type of technology we adopted for manufacturing any product with the help of the CNC or NC machine. ISO starting is simply we can say that is that these are the coding. Coding that means what type of code we are required to maintain this type of technology that maintain the machine out and how to operate the machine. So it is totally depending upon that particular language you are using for that G code, M code, or how much numerical number are to be used with the alphabet in terms. So these all are the some basic structure you have to find out by maintain the quality. So these are some structure you have to obtain by managing the. First of all, you have to obtain by managing this type of coding in a series way. If you are using the M code, then you have to first of all learn the M code series or G code series. That is what type of series, how much the ranking to be from 0 to 10 or 10 to 15 or from 100, 0 to 100. So what type of series we are using for that to maintain the quality or to learning purpose for that the ISO coding for the operation performed. So it is the type of we can say that some coding to be operated by this. Coding is simply, but you have to keep in mind that each and every code have a different uniqueness and which will not be repeated by again and again. So whenever you operate the something for the spin test speed, you have to use for the S command just like did for this. So they are the different type of operation as per the different type of alphabet which are represented by this particular operation. Okay, so you have to keep in mind during that machining we have to understand all this factor, all these lectures, all these series, and it is very unique because if you are doing any project and you want to that secret from that coding, what type of coding we are using for the operation, so you do not want to show the another person. So this type of coding will creating by yourself, and it will be help to you, help to you for understand. So there are the these are the some reasons why the CNC coding and CNC machine are very helpful and very highly precision type of technique we are using for the manufacturing of any product or any special purpose. So we have to understand this type of thing. That is one of the thing that to be standardized in the form of a different design and they have to be used in the program and all the 26 letters that should be alphabet usually and where the standardized on a given meaning. So that time we have to understand here this numerical term is to be represented with the alphabet term. For example, G double O. So for G double O, that means G is the capital alphabet capital for that, and or D double O, that means the numerical value. So you have to use for the alphabet and a numerical value with them, and to be used with range of as per the requirement we have to use for that. So the reason is using the G code and M code because it is a unique feature and no one if you can be operate this without any understanding the knowledge of coding. Okay, so this type of technology adopt only when the you have to understand any coding, how to can read the coding, how to can write the program, or as well as we can say that the what type of technology we are adopted for this software using for this, that is the Captain software or any other type of software which you are using, then you have to do the single observation that after that we will be start the how to write the program as well. So program, we can say the program writing is not an easy task, but it's a very difficult task. You have to mention all the parameter first in the front way. That is to be what you want to do in this particular operation. So you have to first of all you have to calculate. You have to measure all this thing, and after that you will be able to understand yes this type of operation we are doing, and so what code is used for to making this type of problem. So how you have to also solve sometime problem. You have a different code, but you have the idea to how to read and what code is represented by this. So you have to calculate that particular problem and we can say that you come to repair or engage the new code with them. So these are the some different we can say the ISO coding has to be used with the formation of we can say develop any product by the CNC machine. As you know, that is a character. This is are the characteristics 26 alphabets of English alphabets, and which addressing the something uniqueness of that particular CNC machine. So you have to understand that you can see that is a capital A. Capital A, that means it indicates that addresses for the angular dimension around x-axis. Angular dimension around x-axis. B is the angular dimension around the y-axis. C, angular dimension around the z-axis. So these are the some basically we can say the characteristic and the addresses for that to represent the particular operation for if you are using this type of code in the fill up with the enter with the computer and this computer can read this particular code which indicated particular addresses for this. Okay, so these are the A, B, A, C, D represent the angular dimension around special axis of third feed function. Okay, E is equal to angular dimension around special axis or second feed function, and we can say capital F indicate the feed function. Okay, G that means the preparatory functions. H that means the assigned function. I is equal to distance to arc center or thread lead to parallel to x axis. J is equal to lead to the y axis. In case indicate to the desired distance to arc vector center or thread lead parallel to the z-axis. So these are the different type of axes are available. Seven that means the do not use for the particular operation for the trial. Okay, not easily useless. That is the m is equal to miscellaneous function as using m n is equal to sequencing number and o is equal to referencing wait stop. P is equal to the third party travel transfer the dimension in or trajectory. We can say that the motion dimension parallel to x-axis. Theta, sorry, q is equal to second dimensional. We can say that, or q that means the first rapid layer that dimensional trajectory motion in the dimension parallel to the z-axis also. Okay, and we can say that the s is equal to splinter speed function, t is equal to tool function, u is equal to secondary motion that parallel to the x-axis, v is equal to secondary motion parallel to the y-axis, and z-axis for the w for that. So these are the some reasons we are opting for that to understand the basic features and the geometry of the cutting tool. Okay, so u is equal to that is secondary dimension, most dimension parallel to the x-axis. V is equal to secondary motion dimension parallel to the y-axis, and V is equal to secondary W is equal to secondary dimensions for parallel to the z-axis. So these are the some requirement how we can operate and how we can indicate that particular alphabet or represent this one. So these are the very huge type of and very important features for understanding how to operate the CNC machine, any automation machine, like that. So X, Y, and Z that means the primary X the motion, Y motion, and Z motions are available. Where you have to set the positioning of that particular object or the workpiece with that respective tool you are using for cutting that. You have to set a dimension for this. So these are the some primary motion ticket that the we can say that the only workpiece are available and how you can operate this we have to managing by the another one. So where you can observe that there is star line is presented for someone. It is star where the D, E, P, Q, R, U, V, and W. Okay, so this type of we are not using the are indicated using this indicated as we are not used as indicate and that they may be used elsewhere. Okay, so they are not using this type of indicate and it will be you can use this type of elsewhere for the operation. So these are the reasons of why we are selecting why we are using this type of coding for the alphabet thing and how to can understand. So these are the some procedure way to understand the different type of technique we are adopted for us and having the idea to open operating system. So these are the reasons. So these are the reasons why we using the CNC machine for manufacturing any product with the help of the coding to be operated for them. As used in the coordinate function, the coordinate function that means a function that we can say the coordinate of the tool tip are programmed for the generating a given component geometry. Okay, and the coordinate value are specified using the word addresses such as X, Y, Z, U, V, W, I, J, K, etc. Like this. At least we can say at least two addresses are normally assigned along the dimensional point, depending upon the resolution, and at least 1 μm or less than for the precision, that is the NC machine to NC machine tool available in the machine tool. That are some examples are to be noted that X is equal to the X 123, 405, Y is equal to minus 34 and 450. So as what you understand by this equation written as a function, basically it is a simple function how to can write this and how to can understand it. If you want to give the first command in the x direction, so you have to put the 123 okay, for represent this. So x1 is a axis in the event we have to distribute the particle x1 is and x2, y is equal to y1 y2, and you have to put that equation in simple manner, that is to be y x is x 123. Okay, that means x 123 is a numerical term, and y x is equal to the preparatory term which we are using that move to the y direction. Okay, so you have to understand that x 123 and y 0405. That means is the second term which you have to using in the different aspect. So that we can say y is equal to minus 34 and 450 we are using for it, and have to idea simply to calculate the basic fundamental features for us. So you have an idea how to can operate this, how to can write the program. So it's very simple to understand the writing the program by we can say by managing the term which is to be using for that, and having the idea that this is the we can say coordinate system. We understand the writing the program and can read this program value. So that's it. 405 and 4. Read function that I think understand read function. And represent the x primary x direction, y represent the primary y direction. So you have to write this type of dimension to be for manufacturing this type of term. Secondly, feed function. Feed function, that is generally the feed is assigned in the velocity unit, which using the f word address. For example, the one F150 means that the feed rate is specified as the 150 mm per revolution per minute. So if you are giving the command, it is it's the F. So you have to put the command, it is F. And for example, how it can be used, that is the F150 means F150. It's a code or CNC code, and it indicates that the feed rate will be specified in the 150 per revolution per minute. Okay, and it's totally depending upon that what type of parameter you have to using for the particular operation. So our objective is that what you want to cut the material, and how we can cut the material to give the layout. Otherwise, we will be operating as per the desired. So that time we have to understand this type of coding is useful for managing the terms which are related with the diagram that to be observed. So F direction, that simply means we can set the simple value and a value, but we have to use for the equation to find out the speed. That is first is f, that means we can set the speed, feed the speed, and how to handle this equation. That is the f50 means. So f150 means that is the feed rate is specified by 150 per revolution, and this is exact speed with which the tool move along the program path forever. So however, depending upon the programmed path, where could be the some deviations in the actual feed followed by the controller, and we can say also the controller calculate the actual feed rate of the each of the systems. So these are the some reasons to be calculated by this. So it is very simple. Now per evolution or the vice versa. So these are some reasons that we are using to be why we are using we have to understand how to write the program for the same as it is applicable for the program for the laptop card and the speed for that. So these are some reasons why we are using the this type of technology is very now useful for that. So it has to be understand that the we can say that the by using appropriate G code, and it is also possible to change the feed rate units from the mm per minute to the per revolution and for vice versa. So these are the reasons for adopting of the G code and code with the for this for its feature. So the other some feed function. Now, second is the speed function. Speed function basically in some of the cases, the CNC machine tool spindle speed are manually and are not to be the background or foreground. So, however, the most of the CNC machine that are coming now would have the capability of the step less variation of the spindle speed. Hence, they need to be programmed usually the spindle speed, and we can say the word S that is. S word that will indicate that it will be using for the spindle speed and as well as for the write the program. It is just as 150. We can say it's 1,500. That will indicate that the spindle speed is skipped. We can set at the RPM of 1,500. Okay, for the RPM. So you can managing by the you can have to. This is the harmful from the surface phase as well as the tool life appointed of the various wise of the as another options for the sprint speed function in the constant surface speed with it. So these are the some basic reasons why we are using the speed function for this. Second is a tool function. Tool function. What is a tool function? It is all the numerical control machines are generally equipped or tool manages with the automatic tool changes are using for that, which enables the positioning of the preset tool in a few seconds. And thus the ratio of the cutting time, which is the total mass, which machine time is considerable increase. Okay, so these are the because tool change that if you want to change the tool, you have to just split the tool in 30 direction and where the two or more angle we can confirm the maximum to be capacity to be used with the high rate. So that's why we can say that the most common is the two digit as that is the 15, and it is called the tool managed positioning 15 to tool number 15 to be brought and the spindle replace the already present two tool in the spindle. That is the hod is replaced by the we can say spring will be brought back to the each company and created when the tool 15 was logged up. So these are some reasons why to obtain the basic features of the particular lecture or the lecture series. So I hope you understand the lecture. That is a tool, how a tool can be operated and how tool to be used and what are the procedure to operating a tool. So these are some reasons that we identify by to maintain the quality service and do to write. The reason is overall data that you have to understand how to write the program first all this. If you have to understand all this term technologies, you have to managing all this thing which is not easy, which is easy to understand. So the all the NC machines are generally equipped by this. So the next that is a presbytery function if you can understand. And in this code is denoted by the G and it is a pre-function associated with the engineering. We can say that the movement of the machine or by the associated geometry with that. So we can say as a discussed letter, it has a two digit that is the example 0 G01 and G02. Okay, and G90 as per the ISO specification. So these are the reasons for we can say that the example G01 and G02 or G42. So G42, G01 that will indicate that the alphabet capital of G is geometrical precision And 400 that indicates that the tool will be very good and having the good personality for that for the power required for to maintain the next level. So this is the preparatory function using the either G code, and in the CNC machine and DNC machine we are using, and it has a standard number of the private functionary, also popular called the G code, and the standardization code are shown as the below. That is the example are here. So these are some code which is based on the different type of zone. That is first is Z00. Z00 that means point to point positioning and rapid transfer. So point to point positioning and rapid transfer first to G01, D00. Then G01 that means line interpolation. Second G02 that is circular interpolation clockwise. G03 that is circular interpolation anti-clockwise. Okay, and G04 that is the DWL. Okay, for this, and at G05 it is a wholly delay. Is that G07 it is an assignment. G08 it is acceleration of feed rate. G09 declaration of feed rate. 10 is equal to linear interpolation for the long time, 10 inches to 100 inches for this particular using for that. Code at G10. G11 that means the linear interpolation for short dimensionals up to 10 thickness. G12 that means the underassigned. G17 that means the XY plan designation, and okay, 18 that is the ZX plan designation, and G19 that is the YZ plan designation. So these are the some designations of the particular axes, plans, and in particular operation which we are using that in this time. So these all are the some benefits you will be got by the maintain the good qualities of particular existing material or any object. So I think you have to understand how to write the program, how to can operate the program, and how to can understand the program easily. So this is a very simple example to you how to understand, how to can write, how to read the program. So you must be read by first of all, and after that you are using for the SAM. Next section G20 that is a circular interpolation. CW for long dimension, circular interpolation CW for the long dimension. C21 that is circular interpolation CW for the short dimensions. G22 to G39 indicate the undersign. G30 represents circular interpolation CCW for the longer dimensions, and 31 that is circular interpolation for CCW for the second short dimensions. And G32 that indicated the undersigned. G31 that is a thread cutting and constant lead. 34 that is thread cutting and the intensity linearly decreasing that, and 35 that is a thread cutting linear decreasing that. G36 to G37 indicate the undersigned, and G40 indicate the cutting compensation circle to the slope, and G41 indicate the cutting radius the compensation offset were left for that. So these are the some reasons which we are using for maintain the quality and having the, we can say, having the features which we are using. It is to be y is equal to 40 and 4 is equal to y, that is a G40, and G41 is the compensation cancel to 0, and the cutter radius compensation offset left. So these are all the coding which are using for it. Now next that is a G42. G42 that means the cutter radius compensation offset right. G40 that means the cutter compensation negative positive. G44 indicate the cutter compensation on negative. Okay, G45 to 52 indicate that the unassigned. Okay, they don't assign the value. So G53 that will indicate that the deflection of the zero offset, and G54 to G59 indicate that the datum point to zero shift. G60 indicated target value positioning tolerance. G60 indicate that the target value positioning incident for the two, or we can say loop cycle for that. G62 that is a rapid transfer positioning. G63 that was a tapping cycle. G64 that was a change in feed rate or speed. G65 to G69 that is the undersign, and G70 that means the dimensioning in inches unit. G71 that means dimension in inches, meter metric unit. So you have to change the dimension by using the code G17 inches and G71 for the metric. Now the G72 to G79 it is unsigned number, it is not used for that, and G80 has been the Canon cycle cancel for this. G81 to G89 indicate a cancel, trailing and boring cycle. Okay, G90 indicate that the specific absolute input dimensions. G91 that means specific incremental input dimensions, and G93 indicated undesigned. G94 indicate the feed rate per minute. It is involved with the weight of the G70, and G95 indicated the feed rate revolution per minute using the when combined with the G71 section for that. And G96 indicated spindle speed for the current surface feet, and at 98 that means the spindle speed in revolution per minute. So these are the basically reasons of using selection of the G code and M code for the writing a program, how to can operate the machine. So you can help with this, and you have to manage with that. So these are the some we can say these are the some code which are helping to us to maintain the right of program or easy to understand the requirement of UV. So there's are the motion group. That is in motion group. It basically indicates that the G00. G00 that means the rapid positioning are here from G01 that means the linear interpolation. G02 that is a circular interpolation clock. G03 that means circular interpolation clockwise. So these are the reasons to be understand with the circular interpolation for that, and having the motion group for this. Dual that means 604 for the dual act, and acting plan selection group, acting plan selection group that means G17, G18 or G19, in which the what we are using the right, that is the XY plane selection, Y plane selection, ZY plane selection for that. So these are some benefits which we are get by the this type of numerical or we can say derivation we have to solve for or to make a write program for the machining term, that is. And the computer we can say current compensation group, that is a G40 indicates the current compensation that is cancelled. G41 that is the current radius compensation left to be moved. G47 42 that means current status to be compulsion by right. So these are the some reasons why we are using that the using that the counter compensation group will be associated with the setting group. So if you have to found, if you have to design any type of, if you have to design that any material have to design with the motion direction or dual direction and active plan selection. So these are the some reasons to be understood by rapid prototyping, linear interpolation, circular interpolation, circle and circular interpolation, circle kind, and extra plane policy. So cutter the compensation and the cutter the we can say left direction and right direction. These all are the some direction will be are using for the maintain the quality. Next, that is a units group. That unit group that will indicate data for to change the unit for given dimension. So you should put the we can say the option that is for the unit is G70 for indicate inches unit. This is like if you want to change the reading from the in mm in inches. So that is to be G70 is to be set for this, and G71 used for the metric, and this is mm to be selected for the particular machine. So these are the reasons of why we are using the G code and M code for that. We have to use only the once time you have to write a program and automatically it will done until it will be not stopped automatically by machine. So these are the some reasons to be using the G code and M code, and hot making the canal cycle group, that is a G80, that is a canal cycle cancel, and G81 to G8668 that is a cancel canal cycle definition and on. So these are the some reasons to understand the hot making or canal cycle pump. Second is the coordinate system group. Coordinate system group that means G90, absolute coordinate system, incremental coordinate system for that. Next it is G92, that is the absolute preset and change the datum position for that. So these are the reasons of why we are using the G code and M code, why it is very popular and why it is very interesting topic to be made ever for maintain the on level of on level the security, and will be passes with the for manufacturing and type of coding and write a program for this to load the system, and it can operate the system by using the code, and it will be helpful to G code and M code for that. So that's why we can say it is very helpful, and the coordinate system is very helpful for us. And now we are using that the absolute coordinate or the increment coordinate is to be deciding as per the requirement it will be using or not for the further movement that is to be apply only for the we can say the indicate for generally accepted by defaulting the we can or chuck on operation. So these are the reasons I used to be should for this. So that's why we can say it is a very popular type of technique, and then now there is the coding for this. Okay, now as you know that there are the different type of code. You can see these are the different types of coding are available. As you know that the coding are available, that is the M code are using, that is a G double zero. They repeat once again because it is necessary to understand it properly. So G00, G01 to we can say G19 in the first slide. That is to be indicate each and every term by the name, and you can select the name by this. That is the first is we can say they are selected by the options of what type of tool we are using for if you are changing the tool. So you must be change the tool by chain tooling. The tool operation, that is a T to be used for the tool operation, or we can say that the tool job. Okay, for the CNC machine, that is we can say that some of the code has to be represented very simply, but some of the portion is very difficult. So we have to manage all the time together with the help of this technique to be used for this. Now the G code and M code is generally based on that on the machines and the refrigerator also to be put the put to be checked the practically manner, and how it is how much it is possible for it. So you have to check the practically by the same number. Okay, and that is the G10 number. G10, that means the interpolation, that is to be for the short distance and the for long term area. Long term indicate that the shorter distance that will to be not be a part of the system that we are indicate like this. So as then you know that during the mechanism you have to adopt, or we can say it not be a part of system to be using this. So the G we can say G code and M code are two type of code, and where generally we are using the G code and writing the program from like this. Okay, and it is not be easy to part to manage this type of G code easily. So G code it indicates there is G20 or a G30 or a G31 and a G32 for the 33 and 34, 35. So these all are the thread cutting, but thread cutting with a different type of condition. That is first is the constant lead condition. That is the linearly increasing the lead condition. Or last that we can say the linearly that increasing the lead condition. But overall we can say that, that it will be mentioned by the observer and what type of coding they are writing and used for the machine. The machine is operating via the coding of the particular human machine okay part. So if your machine part is not available, that it simply said that the machine is not be a part of this to manufacture. So it will be easy to understand. Simply, we can say now the geometrical term as a here. That is geometry work is that it to be we can say solve any problem by the internally thread making or any internally which system we have observed. So that time we have to understand that the coding is important. Coding will like this for opening that cylinder, that is to be no coding area. So there is no requirement. So there is no requirement of a machine. Sorry, no requirement of any coding. So it will be helpful beneficial for us to obtain this type of security like this. Now the coding indicates simply that the how much able you are to make the make this particular film. That is depending upon the coding. The coding, if you understand that you have to do not read the type of dumping and problem for this. Now at the end of this lecture, that we can say there are different type of coding systems are available, or we can say there are some primary preparatory and that is a type of coding are available, and how you can write the program, how you can operate the program. You can see in this slide which is related with that and having the different technologies we obtained with this. So these are the reasons why we are selecting the this G code and M code. M code we will discuss in the next slide. That is G code will be using for that. So these are the answers of basically my question to related with the you and the so that we have to understand properly. Okay. So at the end of the, we can say end of the lecture, I will recommend some multiple choice question that is based on the CNC machine, that is which machine tool reduce the number of step up in the machining operation, the time spent intersetting machine tool and transporting between the section of machine. So the options are computer numerical control machine, direct numerical control machine, adaptive control machine, and machining center. The option that is a D, that is a D answer is the correct for us to maintain the quality of the machine between the section of the machine. Machining center is the right answer for us. Second question, that is the machining, the machine tool in which the calculation and setting of the operating conditions like the depth of card, feed rate, and spindle speed are done during the machinability by the control system itself. It is called, the options are a computer numerical control system, direct numerical control system, machine control system, or adaptive control system. So the options are, that is a D is the right, that is adaptive control system. A D is the right answer for this. Third question, that is a part programming mistake can be avoided in, the options are a numerical control machine, CNC control machine tool, A, B, and B, and none of the above. So the correct answer, that is B is the correct answer. That is cost, that is a computer control machine is very high. So at that time it will be selected for us. Question 4, that is a several machine tool can be controlled by the center. That is options are, first is NC, that is CNC numerical numerical control, CNC numerical control, DNC, and we can say CCNC numerical control. That is the options are, that is first is we can say first case, that is computer numerical control machine tool. So these are the reasons of why we are selecting a computer numerical control tool for the external center established here for the long time. Fifth, that is in CNC machine tool, the part program entered into the computer memory. The options are, can be usually only once we are using, can be used once again and again, can be used again, but it is has to be modified very time and cannot say. The options are, that is B is the correct, that is yes, which we can be used with the again and again this type of machine that we have to be play for that. Sixth question, indicated which of the following options is correct for the control time, control unit, panel for the NC machine and CNC machine tool, etc. So the options are, it is the control unit of NC machine tool work in on line mode, and control unit of NC machine tool work in a batch production mode. That is to be conceived with the two type of model for that. Second is that we can say that third one, that is the control unit of bottom NC and CNC machine work in online mode. And third, fourth, that is the control unit of both NC and CNC machine work in batch production processing mode. And the options are, that is a B. B is the correct answer for this to be useful. Seventh question, that is in CNC, that is a numerical control machine tool. The position feedback package is connected between, the options are A, control unit and programmer and machine tool, control unit and machine tool, programmer and process planning. So the options are, that is C is the correct for this. Eighth question, the device feed to the feed control unit of NC machine tool, which send the positioning commands signals to slide way transmission element of the machine is called as the called controller, tap, feedback unit, and none of the above. So the correct answer, that is B is the correct answer for this. Ninth question, that is numerical control. It is a method for controlling the operation of a machine by means of a set of instruction apply only to milling machine. It's a part for the producing a number of exit per hour and all the above. So the correct answer, that is A is the correct answer for this. The last question, 10, it is a CNC machining center do not include operation like welding, tapping, milling, boring, and etc. That is A is the answer for this. As the welding is not a, we can say, CNC machine part for like this. Okay, so at the end of this lecture, I recommend some books for machining side, machine tool series. It is Modern Machine Side, PC Pandey, H.S. Shah, Tata McGill Publisher. Machine Tool Design by N.K. Mehta, Tata McGill Publisher. Production Engine Side by PC Pandey and C.K. Singh, Standard Publisher. Manufacturing Technology by R.K. Rajput by Lakshmi Publication. And Manufacturing Technology by P.N. Rao from Tata McGill Publication. So I hope you enjoy this video. If you doubt any query, you will be drop me below my email ID amit.tiwari@myri.com, and you will be contacting me on my mobile number also 8690319448. I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you so much for listening patiently. Thank you.